The world is a harsh, unforgiving place known as the stillness, perpetually threatened by seasons, cataclysmic geological events. Orogenes, individuals capable of manipulating seismic energy, are both feared and exploited, controlled by the oppressive fulcrum and its guardians. The story opens with young Nassun returning home to a scene of unthinkable horror. Her younger brother, Uche, dead, and her father, Jija, standing over the body. Jija, a napper, discovers Uche's nascent orogenic abilities through a diamond Uche cesses from Jija's pocket. In a fit of terrified rage and prejudice, Jija murders Uche, then flees with Nassun, believing her to be an orogene as well. Nassun, in a state of shock and denial, clings to her father, who promises to take her somewhere she can be cured. Their journey south is a desperate flight through an increasingly chaotic world. The fifth season, initiated by the unprecedented rifting, is tearing the continent apart. Nassun, though untrained, instinctively uses her burgeoning orogenic powers to protect herself and Jija from the escalating dangers of the road, solidifying her father's fear and dependence on her. Meanwhile, Essun, Nassun's mother and a powerful orogene herself, once known as Cyanide of the Fulcrum, finds herself in the underground calm of Castrema. She arrived there with Wa, a mysterious stone eater disguised as a boy, and encounters Alabaster, her former mentor and lover, the very orogene who triggered the rifting. Alabaster, now slowly turning to stone and tended by another stone eater named Antimony, reveals a shocking truth. The Earth is not merely a geological entity but a conscious, vengeful being, and the Moon, its child, was flung away eons ago by ancient orogenes. The seasons are its wrath. He tasks Essun with a seemingly impossible mission: to call the obelisks, ancient, powerful crystalline structures that float in the sky, and to somehow use them to return the Moon to its orbit, thereby appeasing Father Earth and ending the seasons. Essun, burdened by the destruction of her family and the world, initially struggles with Alabaster's request. Her first attempts to connect with an obelisk are harrowing. She inadvertently calls the distant onyx obelisk, a much more powerful and dangerous artifact than the topaz Alabaster intended. This brief connection leaves her shaken but also hints at the immense power she possesses. Essun then witnesses the devastating effects of boil bugs, creatures that thrive in the season's harsh conditions, when a Castrema hunter is severely injured. In a desperate act, Alabaster uses his waning power to freeze one of the bugs, revealing the cost of his actions. He is slowly turning to stone. Essun, driven by a complex mix of guilt, responsibility, and a rekindled sense of purpose, follows Alabaster's lead and successfully freezes the remaining boil bugs, further deepening her understanding of her unique abilities. Meanwhile, Nassun and Jija continue their arduous journey. They eventually reach a hidden community called Found Moon, located in the Antarctic region. Found Moon is a secret training facility for orogenes, run by guardians who have seemingly abandoned the Fulcrum's cruel methods. Here, Nassun meets Shafa, her mother's former guardian, now a deeply traumatized man whose memories are fragmented by an implanted core stone that causes him constant pain. Shafa, drawn to Nassun's innate power, sees in her the potential to achieve something extraordinary. Essun begins to train with Alabaster, learning to perceive magic, the subtle, interwoven threads of energy connecting all living things and the obelisks. She discovers that her conventional fulcrum training limited her understanding of orogeny, forcing her to focus only on physical manipulation rather than the broader, more potent realm of magic. Alabaster explains that the ancient civilization that built the obelisks harnessed this magic. He believes the Guardians, too, are connected to this magic, some of them being agents of Father Earth, corrupted by its vengeful will. Shafa, meanwhile, continues to train Nassun, pushing her to hone her magical abilities. He recognizes her exceptional talent and unique ability to perceive the silver threads of magic more acutely than others. Nassun, in turn, develops a deep bond with Shafa, seeing him as the only one who truly accepts and loves her despite her powers. She learns to manipulate these silver threads, even using them to temporarily alleviate Shafa's constant pain. A pivotal moment occurs when Nassun, in a moment of disoriented panic during a nightmare, accidentally turns Ites, another orogene child, to stone. This terrifying display of uncontrolled power draws the attention of an Antarctic fulcrum, a satellite facility that was believed purged. Nassun, Shafa, and Umber, another guardian at Found Moon, visit the fulcrum, only to discover its leaders are still adhering to the old ways of brutal control. Shafa, recognizing the insidious nature of their methods and fueled by his own reawakened memories of the fulcrum's cruelty, attacks the fulcrum leadership, with Nassun inadvertently aiding him by using the sapphire obelisk to turn some of the orogenes to stone. Back in Castrima, Essun's former colleague, Tonki, discovers a hidden control room within the geode. This revelation transforms Castrima in Essun's eyes. It's not just a large crystal formation, but a relic of the ancient obelisk builders, designed to harness magical energy. However, Tonki's reckless experimentation with an iron shard leads to her arm being infected with magic, forcing Essun to amputate it using an advanced orogenic technique. This further cements Essun's understanding of magic and the dangers of misusing it. A hostile army from a northern comm, Relentless, approaches Castrima, led by a stone eater known as Greyman. This army's arrival pushes Castrima to the brink, forcing the comm's leader, Waika, to make difficult decisions. Essun, now Castrima's de facto champion, agrees to help defend the comm. She also discovers that Wa, who had disappeared for some time, has returned to Castrima in his true stone eater form, severely injured but alive. He reveals that the Grey Man intends to prevent the Obelisk Gate from being opened, thus allowing the season to continue until humanity is extinct. The narrative interweaves the ongoing conflicts in Castrima with Nassun's continuing journey of self-discovery at Found Moon. Nassun, increasingly alienated from her father's prejudice and unable to cure herself as he desires, begins to assert her identity as an orogene. Jija's deep-seated fear and hatred for orogenes, stemming from a childhood trauma, ultimately lead him to try and kill Nassun. In a heartbreaking moment, Nassun is forced to defend herself, accidentally turning Jija to stone with the sapphire obelisk. This act shatters her last ties to her old life and propels her further into the realm of raw, untamed magic. In Castrima, tensions escalate as the Relentless army closes in. Essun, wielding Alabaster's spinel obelisk, is forced to intervene when the comm's residents, in a moment of fear and prejudice, turn on their orogenes. She accidentally turns one woman to stone, a horrifying echo of Nassun's own actions. Alabaster, weakened but still present, struggles against Essun's uncontrolled power, his sacrifice ultimately enabling her to regain control. His death solidifies into a small stone sculpture, a poignant reminder of his ultimate self-sacrifice. In the climax, Essun, now a master of magic and armed with Alabaster's lessons, understands the true nature of the Obelisk Gate. It's a network of all the obelisks across the continent, designed to work together on a planetary scale. With the help of Wa, who serves as a living conduit and a mountain of stabilizing strength, Essun activates the gate. She unleashes a torrent of magic, turning the invading Relentless army and their Stone Eater allies to stone. She even petrifies the city of Relentless itself, eliminating the threat and securing Castrima's survival. In the aftermath of the battle, Essun discovers her right arm has turned to stone, a consequence of channeling such immense power. Yet, through the activated Obelisk Gate, she finally locates Nassun, confirming her daughter's survival. At the same time, Nassun, having killed her father, is approached by Steel, a powerful stone eater who reveals the true purpose of the Obelisk Gate: to bring the moon back to orbit. Steel offers to teach Nassun how to manipulate the gate, promising an end to all seasons and suffering. Despite the lingering grief and horror, both mother and daughter, now irrevocably transformed and wielding unimaginable power, choose to embrace their destinies and work towards a new future for the stillness, though their paths remain separate.